Brilliance Audio presents The Boston Strangler by Gerold Frank, performed by Stephen J. Cohen. This is a story about Boston. It is a true story about the people in it, what happened to them, and the strange and implausible events that took place there in a time which is today, and, man being the creature he is, may again be tomorrow. It begins on Thursday, June 14th, 1962. That day, under a sky that threatened rain but never carried out its threat, Bostonians went about their business, concerned with their private or public affairs, legal or illicit, generous or self-serving, history-making or utterly unimportant. Yet if we hold a microscope to it, it becomes something of a special day. In Cambridge, across the Charles River, Harvard University was holding its 311th commencement, and in the yard, thousands of students, alumni, and guests were gathering about the buffet tables, set up under canvas, heavy with the traditional chicken salad and beer. At 4:15 p.m., the sun came out from behind the clouds. Since Boston had known only rain these last few days, it had forced cancellation of the Harvard-Yale baseball game the day before. That was a signal for everyone to break out in a mighty song. Fair Harvard. The ancient bells of Memorial Church chimed in, echoing across the campus. At that time, through the Back Bay and downtown districts of the city itself, some 100,000 Bostonians lined the streets, cheering Commander Allen B. Shepard, Jr., the nation's first astronaut, the man who had ridden the nose of a rocket more than 100 miles above the Earth a year before, had come to his hometown, nearby Derry, New Hampshire, to receive a New England Aero Club Award and be guest of honor on that day, Flag Day, at ceremonies on Boston Common. He stood in the back of a convertible, a shining, handsome man, and as he rode by, the applause rippled up the street. That was a cheerful scene. A stone's throw away in State Street, Boston's Wall Street, the scene was anything but cheerful. The stock market had fallen violently for the fourth consecutive day. This time, the Dow Jones averages, made up of 30 blue-chip stocks, had plunged below the floor set 2 weeks earlier, on May 28th, Black Monday, which had seen the sharpest one-day drop since the crash of 1929. Something close to panic was in the air. Although the market closed at 3:30 p.m. as usual, the tape was late, and it wasn't until some time later that statisticians could announce that American industry was then worth $5.6 billion less than when the market had opened at 10 a.m. that morning. By 6 o'clock, however, all this was history. Then, the microscope held to the city would have revealed a curious process underway. Boston is a town whose population swells and decreases by half every 24 hours. At 8 a.m., as workers pour into the city from the surrounding suburbs, it becomes a metropolis of 1,500,000. But at dusk, as they flow back to their homes, it shrinks to a town half as populated, tenanted only by those who live there. Among these was Mrs. Anna E. Slesers, 55, a divorcee for more than 20 years, who had come to this country with her son and daughter in 1950 as a displaced person from Latvia. As dusk fell over the city, Mrs. Slesers was preparing her bath in her small third-floor apartment at 77 Gainsborough Street, in the Back Bay area of Boston. Gainsborough Street is an old-fashioned, tree-lined, lamp-lit street of identical bay-windowed, 4-story red brick homes, each with its cement stoop and low picket fence guarding a miniature lawn.